clinging too much to what we think is real and which isn't. So that sounds like a sweet talk that was. I went to the bank today and I did a couple of simple transactions with the teller, and I said, well, that was easy. And she said, yeah, that was real easy. Why don't you come back next time with a challenge for me? And I said, okay, I'll try and think of one. And then she goes, how about right now? You got one for me right now? And I'm like, okay. How do you become totally enlightened in this lifetime? And she goes, meditate. I said, really? She goes, yeah, meditate. I go, you gonna tell me any more? She goes, oh yeah, 5 minutes a day, just meditate. Just stop once in a while, look at the thing, appreciate life once in a while. Just stop once in a while, just take a look at the beauty. That's it. Thank you, that's great advice. Yeah. That's a really great, thing to have in your mind. It's very good, like if you're being served or something and then they ask you that question, anything else I can do for you? Anything else? Just pop the question. Well, yeah, sure. Tell me how to become a Buddha? Tell me how to become Jesus, and see what happens. You get all kinds of great answers. I do that with people on. One lady was on the telephone. I was phoned, trying to sort something out with a, credit card or something, and I'm talking to her, and she's, thank you, that's great. She's, okay, anything else I can do for you? I said, yeah, can you tell me how to become enlightened in one lifetime? She goes, oh, you can't. I go, really? Really? You can't? She goes, no, not this life. Next life. Yeah, and so I was like, that's great. Then you just hang up. And then you just get to hang out and think, okay. And then think of this other person who's somewhere else on the phone, who knows what she looks like, and yeah. So we've been talking about Michael Singer's book and the voice, that incessant voice. Would anyone like to say anything about their, did you notice anything more, or did you notice the voice in your head more, or did anything happen for you in that way this week that you'd like to share? Any revelation about it, or anything that you don't have to, but it's something really was strong or popped out that you'd like to say, or I'm sure everyone would like to hear. Real quiet, So Zoe, what we've been doing is there's this book by Michael Singer. It's called The Untethered Soul, and I thought it was very poignant for what's happening now in the world and people's meditation practice. And he just wrote this great book, and it's about, he discovered, or he woke up to the fact that there's always a voice in your head talking, totally narrating your whole life, and saying all kinds of crazy things, talking to itself, arguing with itself, and always changing its mind, and just a constant, and most people they're not even aware of it. It's so normal that he became aware of it, and he never lost his awareness of it, so he was just always there. And so what happened for him is, in an instant, from whatever past karma, wherever you want to say it, in an instant, he attained what we would call the witness state of mind. So he was instantly sitting more back and was aware of that chatterbox. And he set out to try and figure out what it was, and then eventually he found books that talked about how to stop it, which surprised him. But so we were just going through the chapters. I was reading from the book, which was really fun. And so one of the things that you may or may not have noticed is that any time that you experience reality or a time of the day without that voice, it's way more relaxing. It's way more relaxing, and you can shut it down. You can stop that voice. And in the beginning of stopping the voice, you're sitting more back in your seat of awareness, and you're observing that voice, and you're observing the things that that voice is saying and trying to decide, trying to convince, who knows, each other, however many are in there. So I thought, why not? We'll do chapter 3 today. And I thought what would be really great, in chapter 3, he goes into who am I? Because I'm sure that many of you in the room, or some of you in the room, have asked the question, okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for showing me that I have these voices in my head. But which one of them is me? Which one of those is the right voice? Which one of those is telling me the truth? Or and none of them are. None of them are. You're the one that is hearing the voice. You're not any of those voices, and that can be confusing and weird at first. But it's not that voice is not useful. Because if you have something you need to do and it's important and it's like a movement of your heart, like your heart will use that voice. Like that voice will then be in harmony with whatever needs to happen. It's not like that voice is some evil demon that's trying to ruin your life. It's just that if you have a lack of awareness of it, it is ruining your life. If you have a lack of, it's just like wreaking havoc, and it's like it can't be satisfied, and will always plague you. So that's why the next chapter is who am I? The question is, well, who am I? So what I thought would be nice is if we did that chapter in meditation form. So I'll lead us through a meditation that is like paraphrasing how he goes through who am I. So we're going to go through a little sort of a conversation with ourselves about who am I. So let's start. So we're going to get into our meditation pose, whatever that is for you right now. And you can even lie down if you feel like that will help. So turning inward. And we'll just take some time to get ourselves grounded and centered in this moment. Settling into your body. Feel your body relax, resting nicely supported by the earth. deep inhale, and with that in-breath, expand the heart, draw the crown towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, keep that feeling of expansion in the heart as the shoulders relax. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the jaw. To take a relaxation one step further, give yourself an inner smile. You could even try curving the corners of your mouth up slightly. Feel the weightlessness of amusement. And today we'll go right to the object of watching the breath at the tip of the nostrils. So bringing your mind's focus to the tip of the nostrils and really tuning into the physical sensation of the air as it passes here, in and out. Try to relax even more. Notice any tension that may be arising with the breath. Maybe there's some controlling of the breath. Let that go and allow the breath to be its natural cycle right now, whatever that may be. Let it land where it wants to land. Don't fight it. To really hone your focus, consider this meditation on the breath right now as cycles, meditation cycles, one breath cycle at a time. You really only need to stay very focused for one cycle of breath, and then you're ready for the next one. Small bites. A great yogi by the name of Ramana Maharishi he taught that even more important than reading books, learning mantras, or going to holy places is to continuously and sincerely ask the question, who am I? Who am I? Who sees when I see? Who hears when I hear? Who knows that I am aware? Who am I? for the purpose of this meditation exploration, we're going to have a conversation. So you can make believe that we are having a conversation. And if someone came up to you and asked you, "Excuse me, who are you?" What would you answer? You might just tell them your name. But let's challenge this response by taking out a piece of paper and writing out the letters of your name. Is this who you are? A collection of letters? Is this that who sees when you see? Obviously not. So then you say, okay, you're right, I'm sorry. I'm not whoever your name is. That's just a name people call me. It's a label. Really, I'm so-and-so's girlfriend, or I'm so-and-so's boyfriend. Or I'm so-and-so's mother. Or I'm so-and-so's employee. How could you be any of those things? Are you saying that you didn't exist before you met your partner? Are you saying that you didn't exist before you had a job? Are you saying you didn't exist before you were a mother? That can't be who you are. It's the result of another situation. But then who are you? This time you may respond, okay, now you have my attention. My label is so-and-so. I was born in such a year. I lived in wherever I lived with my parents. Until I was so many years old. And then we moved. Then I went to school. I got such and such grades in school. In elementary school, I was in a play. I played this character. And then later on, I started dating. Went through some relationships. Then I went to college. Then I married so-and-so, or whatever you want to say. That is who I am. Wait a minute. That's a fascinating story, but I didn't ask you what was happening to you since you were born. I asked you, who are you? You just described all these experiences, but who had these experiences? Wouldn't you still be in there, aware of your existence? Even if you'd gone to a different school or lived in a different town or had different friends? So you contemplate this. Have you ever, in your life, ever really asked yourself that question and really meant it? Have you ever really asked yourself, who am I? Now, maybe you're going to say, okay, I'm the body that is occupying this space. I am such and such a height, I am so many pounds, and here I am. Well, when you were who you were in the 5th grade, you weren't as tall as you are now. So which are you? Are you the shorter version of yourself, or are you the version of yourself that you are now? Weren't you in there when you were in grade 5? Aren't you the one that had the experience of being yourself in the 5th grade and is now having the experience of trying to answer my questions? Isn't this the same you? Maybe we should ask some exploratory questions before returning to the core question. When you were 10 years old, didn't you look in the mirror and see a 10-year-old body? Wasn't that the same you that now sees an adult body? What you looked at has changed. But what about you, the one who is looking? Isn't there a continuity of being? Wasn't it the same being that looked in the mirror throughout the years? Very carefully contemplate. Here's another question. When you go to sleep every night, do you dream? Who dreams? What does it mean to dream? You might answer, well, it's like a motion picture plays in my mind and I watch it. Well, who watches it? I do, you might say. The same you who looks in the mirror? Does the same you who is reading or hearing these words also look in the mirror and watch the dreams? When you awake, you know you saw the dream. There is a continuity of consciousness. There is a continuity of conscious awareness of being. If you ask yourself these questions, who sees when I see? Who hears when I hear? Who watches the dreams? Who looks at the image in the mirror? Who is it that is having all these experiences? If you try to give honest, intuitive answers, you are simply going to say, me. It's me. I'm in here, experiencing all of this. That's about the best answer you'll be able to give. It's easy to see that we're not the objects we look at. It's a classic case of subject-object. It is you, the subject, that is looking at the objects. So we don't have to go through every object in the universe and say that object is not you. We can very easily generalize by saying that if you are the one who is looking at something, then that something is not you. So right away, in one fell swoop, you know what you're not. You're not the outside world. You're the one who is inside looking out at the world. So now that we've eliminated countless things outside, but who are you? And where are you if you're not outside with all the other things? Just a little attention and we realized that we would still be in there experiencing feelings even if all the outside objects disappeared. Imagine how much fear you would feel if all the outside objects disappeared. You might also feel frustration or even anger. But who would be feeling these things? Again, you say, me. And that's the right answer. The same me experiences both the outside world and the inside emotions. Imagine if you were watching a dog play outside and you're focused on the dog playing outside and suddenly you hear a noise right behind you, a hiss like a rattlesnake. would you still be looking at the dog with the same intensity of focus? Probably not. You'd be feeling fear inside. Though the dog would still be playing in front of you, you'd be preoccupied with the experience of fear. All of your attention can very quickly become absorbed in your emotions. But who feels the fear? Isn't it the same you who was watching the dog? Who feels love when you feel love? Can't you feel so much love that it's hard to keep your eyes open? You can become so absorbed in beautiful inner feelings or frightening inner fears that it's hard to focus on outer objects. So you are in there having both inner and outer experiences. But who are you? To explore this more deeply, another question. Don't you have times when you're not having emotional experiences and instead you just feel quiet inside? You're still in there, but you're just aware of peaceful quiet. Eventually, you will begin to realize that the outside world and the flow of inner emotions come and go. But you, the one who experiences these things, remain consciously aware of whatever passes before you. But where are you? Is it the whole I think therefore I am thing? Is that what's going on? But the question is, who is using the mind to form thoughts and then manipulate them into ideas and judgments? Does this experiencer of thoughts exist even when thoughts are not present? Fortunately, you don't have to think about it. You are very aware of your presence of being, your sense of existence, without the help of thoughts. If you've been in deep meditation, for example, and you've experienced the thoughts stop, you know that you've stopped. You don't think it, you are simply aware of no thoughts. And you come back and say, wow, I went in deep. And for the first time, maybe, my thoughts completely stopped. I was in a place of complete harmony and quiet. If you are in there experiencing the peace that occurs when your thoughts stop, then obviously your existence is not dependent upon the act of thinking. Thoughts can stop, and it can also get extremely noisy. Sometimes you have more thoughts than other times. You may even tell someone that your mind is driving you crazy because of something someone said to you. Whose mind? Who is noticing these thoughts? Isn't it you? Aren't you aware of their existence? In fact, can't you get rid of them? If you start to have a thought you don't like, can you try to make it go away? You have a subject-object relationship with your thoughts. You are the subject. And thoughts are just another object you can be aware of. You are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. Finally, you may be saying, okay, fine. I'm not anything in the outside world. I'm not the emotions. These outer and inner objects come and go. I experience them. Plus, I'm not the thoughts. They can be quiet or noisy, happy or sad. Thoughts are just something else I'm aware of. But who am I? It starts to become a serious question. So you go a little deeper. This is done by letting go of the experiences and noticing who is left. You will begin to notice who is experiencing the experience. don't you, the experiencer, have a certain quality? Eventually you will see that you have a certain quality, and that quality is awareness, consciousness, an intuitive sense of existence. You know that you're in there. You don't have to think about it. You just know. You can think about it if you want to, but you will know that you're thinking about it. You exist regardless, thoughts or no thoughts. Experience the sound. Sound, or are you the experiencer of the sound? Who is aware of the feeling of the sound? You didn't have to think about that. Your awareness had the entire experience without needing some kind of thought or word. You experienced all the detail instantly, totally. How long would it take if you tried to actually verbally say what that experience just was? How long would it take you to try and cover every nuance of that experience? But your awareness instantly took it all in, every aspect of it. Consciousness is effortlessly aware and fully comprehends all that it experiences. Consciousness. There is nothing higher or deeper than consciousness, pure awareness. But what is awareness? Let's try another experiment. Let's say you were in a group of people and a piano. Now make believe the piano ceases to exist in your world. Would you have a major problem with that? No. I don't think so. I'm not attached to pianos. Okay, then make believe all the people in the room cease to exist. Can you handle it? You may say, sure, I like being alone. Now make believe your awareness doesn't exist. Just turn off your awareness. How are you doing now? What would it be like if your awareness didn't exist? It's simple. You wouldn't be there. There would be no sense of me. There wouldn't be anyone in there to say, wow, I used to be here, but now I'm not. There would no longer be an awareness of being. And without awareness of being or consciousness, there is nothing. Are there objects? Who knows? If no one is aware of the objects, their existence or non-existence becomes completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter how many things are in front of you. If you turn off the consciousness, there is nothing. If you are conscious, however, there can be nothing in front of you, but you are fully aware that there is nothing. It's not complicated, and it's very enlightening. So, if you're asked, who are you? You may now answer, maybe you would answer, I am the one who sees from back in here somewhere. I look out and I am aware of the events, thoughts, and emotions that pass before me. If you can truly rest in that deep seat of consciousness, that deep seat of awareness, you have discovered a great mystery. And then the next great mystery can begin. Let's once more experience the sound. dialogue that comes up. And just let it be. Just relax, let it come, and let it go. Notice that your awareness doesn't need anything. Notice that your conscious awareness doesn't require a label. And that as soon as the inner dialogue begins to jump in and start to want to label it, judge it, talk about it, you may notice you're pulled away from the raw simplicity of simple awareness. Continue to relax back in the seat of your awareness. Like a constant releasing every moment. There, when you get deep enough, whatever happens next is always just the next experience. It's one more experience. It's not, it's not what you are. It's not indicating anything that you are. It's just one more experience. This is your home. Begin to gently release the meditation. Slowly returning to your awareness with your eyes of the room. And see how much you can stay seated in your awareness. And we'll take a little break. That was a long meditation. Everyone did very well. So feel free to stand up. If there's Satota's left any food, you can have food. some like African chant taking us to another level.
Yeah, she was.
I think Lady Gaga.
I did too, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
It's just Lady Gaga. Yeah, there's a mistake. Just Lady Gaga. That's an opinion.